Is there a difference between the sound in native plugins versus DSP plugins? Let's talk about it. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Wavy Wayne from Wavy.wav.com, and this channel is all about helping you to record and mix better and faster. Now, recently, actually today, I was today years old when I found out that UAD has just released a native version of some of their plugins. Now, what does this mean? Okay, I'm gonna break this down for you. What's the difference between native and the DSP versions that they've already had and were forcing us to use? Okay, now, basically, there are two types of processing for plugins. There's native processing and DSP processing. And damn, in all of the comments and discussions that I keep seeing about the UAD going native, there's a lot of discussion around whether the native plugins are going to sound any better than the hardware plugins. Now, let me make this as clear as I possibly can, okay? The only difference between a native plugin and a DSP plugin is where the processing is happening, okay? Now, in a native plugin, that means you're using this plugin. This native plugins draw all of its processing power from the host computer. Another name for native plugins or native processing is also called host-based processing, to where native plugins get all of their processing power from the host, from the computer where the operating system and the DAW is installed on. Okay, those are native plugins. Now, what's the benefit to using native? Well, the benefit to using native is that means you don't need any additional hardware to use these plugins. I could literally be on my laptop on an airplane mixing now using UAD plugins with no additional attachments, not even a charger if I got enough charge on there. Okay, so native gives you the ability to just use the processing power that your computer has, and you can be a lot more flexible with that. Now, there are some drawbacks to using native processing if your computer's processor just ain't up to snuff, right? If your computer is lagging in the area of processing, then you probably gonna want to continue to use DSP processing. Now, what is DSP processing? DSP stands for digital signal processors. This happens outside of the computer. So one example of DSP processing is like using a UAD Apollo Twin. This Apollo Twin, you see how it has on the back, you see that? This is a Core 2 Duo. That means that there are two cores of processing right inside of this actual audio interface. So not only is it an audio interface, but there are DSP chips, basically processor chips similar to a CPU, except they are dedicated to processing audio. And in this case, they were dedicated to processing audio from the UAD plugins. What does that mean now that we are able to actually untether from UAD audio interfaces, and we can use either native or DSP plugins with UAD? That means that maybe we don't buy an Apollo Twin, maybe we don't buy a Volt, maybe we do, because these things are great, and I've had this bad boy for years. It's definitely built like a tank. One of my favorite, one of the best investments I've ever made in my audio career, for sure. But that definitely opens up the door for a lot of other possibilities, with still extending the possibility of being able to use the UAD plugin platform, which is actually also legendary. So I want to go over real quick to the UAD website and take a look at the new Spark, the UAD Spark subscription-based plugins. And I want to just kind of walk through the different additions with y'all, walk through some of the different plugins that are available right now in native versions. And yes, one thing that I do definitely want to mention is that if you already own UAD plugins, like you already bought them because they cost hundreds of dollars, right? You can spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on these UAD plugins. As they become available, you will be able to have access for free to the native versions. And that's what I'm super excited about, because I have so many UAD plugins. I can't wait until more of them are available in a native version so that I can untether myself. Yes, I still love my Apollo audio interfaces, but sometimes I just want to be able to quickly visit a mix or make a beat or put a revision on a project that I'm working on without having to connect my computer up to the interface and do all this big hurrah, okay? Even if you're using a satellite, right? I want to be as minimal as possible, and using native plugins actually allow us to do that. So let's check out the UAD website real quick. We on uaudio.com, and of course, it is the headline. It's one of the biggest things that's going on right now in the audio community. They got a 14-day trial you can get started on today. It's available right now as we speak. Let's look at the plugins. I need to click here. Let's take a look at all of the plugins that's actually available with this thing, man. Create music with the best gear ever made, right? The digital versions of it. An evolving collection. Get exclusive new instruments and tools with our ever expanding library. So again, this is a subscription based model, and we're going to talk about what the prices are for this subscription in just a second. It also runs natively, as we know. Right now, it's currently only for Mac. Okay, so the UAD Spark is only for Mac, but they planning to have the Windows version coming out in the fall. All right, legendary UA sound. Give your recordings the pro analog tones heard on your favorite album. So now again, they are not releasing all of the plugins in a native format just yet, but they have some of the best plugins right now that we love to use, including these collections, to where we get the LA2A collection, which includes the regular LA2A, the LA2A silver, and the LA2A gray. We get also the 1176 collection, which is the Rev A, Rev E, and the AE. You get included in those. So what's that, like 6-7 compressors to start off with, and you also get an API 2500 bus compressor. All right. Now those are all the compressors that you get right now with this thing out the gate. So what's that, about 7 plugins there. You get about 3 different reverbs. Okay, so you get Lexicon 224 digital reverb, the pure plate reverb, the Galaxy tape echo reverb. You also get preamps as well. So you get the API Vision channel strip, right? This is the preamp. It's got EQ on it and compression on that channel strip. You also get the Studer tape machine. I like that joint right there. And the Neve 1073 preamp and EQ. Now, UAD, they doing something extra here, because we also got to keep in mind that they have virtual instruments. And with the new subscription base, I'm sure they want more people to join that subscription base. So they're going to be introducing exclusive Spark only plugins, which is going to force people to actually subscribe. So even though you already have all of these UAD plugins, the exclusive Spark only plugins that's going to be released in the future is going to be their way to get you to subscribe anyway, to use even more. Watch, that's mark my words, okay? Now, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but they already have one exclusive out, the UAD Spark exclusive, the Opal Morphin synthesizer. So one of their virtual instruments is exclusive to Spark. So that means you got to be having the subscription service to access that. And of course, we got the other Rebel Grand Piano, the Mini Moog, and Waterfall B3, which we've talked about these before when we were discussing like the new virtual instruments that were introduced into Luna. Okay, now this opens up the door for you, right, to be able to use even more UAD plugins beyond the capabilities of your UAD hardware. So I know, like with this duo core, my laptop computer can run way more native plugins than I would be able to run if I was only using the UAD Apollo Twin. Now, how much CPU are these plugins going to eat up? That's the question that we really need to be kind of looking at, and what is the cost? Because right now we're not getting that many plugins. We're getting about, let's see, we're getting about 7 compressors here. Really, that's like, you know, 3 compressors, right? You got like 7 compressors. You're getting like 3 effects here, okay? And then you got about 3 other preamps, EQs, right? So I would say about, what's that? Let's just call it an even 15 to 20 plugins. Now, what is going to be the price point? Let's see. We're going to hit start my free trial. Get started. Right, and I checked this out earlier. They got 2 different plans. Okay, as a Vote owner, you get an extended 30-day UAD Spark free trial. Okay, you get an extra 30 days if you own a Vote, which is, again, I was talking about this with my mans, and we were talking how the Vote series, right, doesn't have any DSP. Why didn't we put this together 2 and 2? We're like, dang, why would you want to buy a UAD Vote? Yes, they have some great preamps on there, and they got some great additional features with the vintage mode and the compressor built right into the Vote audio interfaces, but they don't have the DSP, which is why so many of us flocked and bought Apollo Twins and other UAD audio interfaces. But now we don't have to do that. The Vote is a viable option now because you can use the native processing on your computer. The 2 subscription plans that they have available include the 30-day, the month-to-month plan, and you got the yearly plan. Okay, of course you get that 30-day free trial. Well, I get the 30-day free trial, but they if you don't own a Vote, then you get a 14-day trial. Okay, now they're going to keep updating the library. Remember that this is only Mac only, but if you get the year subscription, you can save 30%. So there's $19.99 a month for about 20 plugins. Compared to other offers out there right now, that might be a little bit steep, but everything that we've come to expect from UAD has always been a little bit steep. But I'm definitely curious to know your thoughts on this. Is this something that y'all want to jump into right now? Is this price point a good price point for these plugins that we getting? It definitely lowers the barrier of entry for us, for a lot of us getting UAD plugins, because we know they can be kind of pricey. So it definitely lowers that. And if they keep this price point the same and continue to add more and more plugins, I can see how that value can increase. But I'm happy that as a owner of a lot of the UAD plugins, I get to experience these natively without having to pay anything additional. But I'm definitely curious to know y'all thoughts down in the comments below. Please let me know. What do y'all think about the UAD Spark and this whole new subscription plan that they want to get us on, and them going native and understanding the difference between the native plugins and the DSP plugins, man. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let's get this conversation going. I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyWayne.com. Check out the website. You only got about 2 days if you're watching this video from when I dropped it to actually enroll in my Pro Tools certification course, which will give you the skills you need to excel in the music industry as an audio engineer, and you get an industry recognized and backed credential. All right, click the link down in the description below right now to enroll. You ain't got that long. All right, yo, I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyWayne.com. Y'all be dope.